Hi, my name is Jalynn Antle, and this is my sociological self portrait for my final project. Okay, so my full name is Jalynn Taylor Antle, and I just have some pictures that I think represent me, and they include me and my family and friends and um, people I grew up with, and yeah, this presentation is a little bit about me. So, something important about me that has an extremely large influence on my life is the school that I have chosen to attend. Towards the beginning of the year, I wrote about why I chose Lindsey Wilson College in my first sociological self portrait assignment. Some of those reasons included the location of the school, financial opportunities, and peers. I briefly spoke about how I always dreamed of moving out and living in a big city and leaving the small town that I grew up in. I recently decided about halfway through the semester here at Lindsay to transfer schools due to my career goals. I don't regret attending Lindsey Wilson College, and I believe that this experience has impacted me and taught me a lot about myself. I have learned that I'm the type of person who doesn't like to sit around and wait. Although this impacts me negatively occasionally, it also proves that I have drive to work for and achieve each of my goals. So, the next thing I want to talk about is the agents of socialization and how they um, impacted the person I am today and my life. So, some specific agents of socialization and some of the ways they influenced my life are my family, um, the way that I was raised and who I was raised by and grew up around greatly influenced me and my life. My parents are some of the main reasons I am who I am today. Everything regarding my parents also influenced my life too, such as their jobs, their personality, and their friends. Um, Being an only child also shaped the way that I am today. It has taught me to be more independent, and it taught me the important trait of being comfortable and all right on my own and being able to be my be by myself. Um Also being not close with the rest of our family also affected the me in the way that I view my family and relationships regarding family. So the next agent of socialization um, that affected me and who I am is peer groups. The many different peer groups I was in growing up really influenced my life and the person that I am today. I have been in various groups with many different kinds of people and personalities. Being in many different friend groups helped me to realize who my real friends were and also just what friendship is really about. With experiencing each group, I was taught not to trust everyone, even people you think you may know and that you can trust. I have also learned that we go through many phases within our lifetimes, and sometimes you will just have more friends than at other times. Um, I think that it's also important to realize that in regards to friendship, quality is definitely more important than quantity. I believe that I'm the person I am today because of the people that I have experienced in my life and grew up around. And I think it's very important to choose who you are friends with wisely and not just because you want a lot of friends. It's more important who they are as people. Um, Having spent a lot of time alone, it taught me about friendship and not to strictly rely on other people or friends for your own happiness. And you should truly be comfortable with being alone and being happy by yourself. The next thing that influenced me is the school that I went to. So, obviously, I attend Lindsey Wilson University right now, but the school that I attended and grew up in influenced the person I am today in my life, specifically the high school that I went to. I grew up in a small town, and this resulted in throughout my elementary to high school years knowing everyone. Everyone knew everyone else in high school. Um, Almost everyone that I went to school with had and expressed most of the same opinions, and people with opposing opinions were not really accepted. Everyone really thought the same thing and had the same opinions. Being in an environment like this in school taught me to create and have my own opinions and think for myself. It also taught me to hold on to my own beliefs, even when the people around me told me that my opinion was wrong and theirs was right. This affected me by kind of forcing me to internalize the norm that I should hide my opinions to be accepted and not be shamed for them and to fit in. Um, Fortunately, the longer I experienced the world outside of the high school that I went to, the more that I unlearn this habit of searching for acceptance in other people. So, the next thing is mass media. Um, Growing up in the era of mass media resulted in me being exposed to the internet and social media at a very young age. Growing up, I always remember technology as a part of my life, and this included like gaming consoles, social media, and just entertainment like YouTube, Netflix. I believe that this affected me in both positive and negative ways. Being exposed to the media too quickly can be damaging to children, especially in this day and age. I also think that the media that I consumed growing up helped me to make connections and develop my personality, humor, and my lifestyle. It also helped me to make friends with other people my age that shared the same interest as me. I am thankful for the things that came from the technology advancements from my childhood. Personally, this has shaped my way of thinking towards the younger generations, and I think that it's important to protect children from the negative things that have came from a continuation of technological advancements. The next thing is religion. As a child, I was raised in a Christian household. My family would try to go to church every Sunday and push me to go too. As I started to get older, it was more available to me to think for myself, and my family started to be more open to other beliefs and opinions than their own. This influenced me a lot by seeing my parents grow out of a closed minded mindset, just as I had been doing. I realized that this is everyone's first time living too, and everyone has to learn as they go on with life and experience more things. This also proved to me just how much of an impact our parents have on our belief system. That's why I think it's extremely important to let children think for themselves and experience the world from their own perspective. I also feel like a lot of the time, parents in the older generation don't realize that there was more, that their thinking is almost completely taught and not what they truly believe in. Um, Status to structure. Some statuses that I was proudly born into and hold are being a student, a girlfriend, being a friend, and being a daughter. With being a student, it grants me symbols such as a high school diploma and a college ID. Some symbols that come along with being a friend are the social places and gatherings that I attend, the communication and advice aspect, and the roles of sharing advice and having a support group all come along with friendship. The ascribed status of being a daughter grants me with the symbols of calling my parents mom and dad, the family traditions and gatherings, and the time and travel spent with my family. Some roles that some roles that I hold that come along with being a student is responsibility, time management, dedication, and adaptability. I think that being a student has allowed me to practice and perfect each of these things and help me to thrive in the real world. Having the status of being a friend attaches the roles of being patient, understanding, and an attentive person to the people that you are around and have a relationship with. The status of being a girlfriend, friend, daughter, and a student can come along with role strain. The primary group that I belong to is my family, due to it being a long term group and always being included and having belonging. A secondary group that I'm in is my college class, because it is temporary and a short term role for me. Some networks that I'm in and experience is academic networks and personal networks. Some academic networks that I have is my professors and classmates, and some personal and social networks that I have are my friends and peers that are around me. So, the last thing I want to talk about is my racial and ethnic identity. I have grown up as a white person in a predominantly white town. I have seen racism and hate within the community that I was around and grew up in. Witnessing this behavior from others affected me and the person that I am today because it made me realize at a young age just how close minded, unsympathetic, and rooted in old values people can be. I also grew up seeing racism and discriminatory language on social media. I witnessed countless times within the school system and on social media people not being held accountable for their actions and their hurtful language. This really taught me how important it is to stand up for what you believe in and speak out for the things and the people that you care about because it does make a difference. Growing up as a white person has never not been easy for me, and I'm incredibly thankful and privileged that I will never have to worry about being excluded or targeted for just the color of my skin. Thank you for listening.